In our housing video series, we would like to introduce you to the individual topics relating to housing. If you have any questions regarding accommodations, please feel free to contact oeh.wohnen@aau.at. My name is Nadia, and today I would like to tell you a bit about housing fraud. Scams happen again and again. Unfortunately, no one can tell you with 100% certainty whether a landlord is a scammer or not. Accommodation scams come in several forms. As an example, property adverts could be fake. This is when a scammer poses as the property owner and asks a student for a deposit to hold the accommodation for them. When the student wishes to see more photos or even videos, the property owner will either say that they are ill or out of the country and therefore cannot organize the further information for them. Once they have received the money, they will disappear or no longer be available for the student to contact. A rented property scam is another version of accommodation fraud. In this case, the scammer will rent a real accommodation and advertise it to prospective students. They will show the student around or organize additional photos or video material for them that makes them seem more trustworthy. The scam artist, posing as the property owner, will ask for a deposit and first month's rent immediately, and then when the students show up to move in, they realize that their keys actually don't work and the fraudster will no longer be able to be contacted. Sometimes they will swindle several people using the same property and they all end up without accommodation. Other types of accommodation scams to look out for are adverts that use pictures from other places or misleading websites that show properties that don't actually exist. It is very difficult to recognize a fraud. We recommend that you generally stay away from websites that charge fees to contact landlords in the first place. We also recommend that you ask the landlords to take photos inside the flat showing the windows and then use Google View to figure out if the neighborhood matches the photos. Ask if a video tour is possible, and if this option isn't available, ask the landlord to send you current updated photos of the flat. Just because a landlord refuses to offer an online flat tour does not immediately mean that they're a scammer. It's just that sometimes people own flats here but live somewhere else, so they cannot offer live online tours because they're not physically in the area themselves. In this case, you can ask the landlords to take a video call with you so that you can at least see them for yourself and get a picture of them. Always Google your potential landlords and see what you can find about them online. When the landlord sends you the rental contract, check the landlord's address. Fraudsters sometimes use prominent addresses of public buildings for their scams. Serious landlords will never ask you to pay the first rent in advance. Landlords normally require a deposit, usually 2 or 3 months worth of rent, but otherwise no additional costs need to be paid in advance. Serious landlords will also never contact you after the contract has already been signed and the deposit has been paid to require you to pay an additional first month's rent in order for the tenancy agreement to continue. If you have any concerns about accommodation, you can always get in contact with us, the ÖH Klagenfurt-Celovec. As we ourselves have a lot to do with landlords and the search for accommodation, and thus regularly receive reports of fraud, it is possible that we may have already had dealings with the landlord in question. However, it should be emphasized once again that we cannot offer you 100% certainty. Regardless, we wish you all the best in your search for accommodation.